Hi everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you to this episode of Mahabharat. This version of Mahabharat is the translated version of Ved Vyas Mahabharat by Kisari Mohan Ganguli. This is an honest attempt to share the version with the listeners. Adi Parva Continued. Section 14. Astik Parva Continued. Sati said, The Brahmin of rigid vows then wandered over the earth for a wife, but a wife found he not. One day he went into the forest, and recollecting the words of his ancestors, he thrice prayed in a faint voice for a bride. Thereupon Vasuki rose and offered his sister for the rishi's acceptance. But the Brahmin hesitated to accept her, thinking her not to be of the same name with himself. The high souled Jaratkaru thought within himself, I will take none for wife who is not of the same name with myself. Then the Rishi of great wisdom and austere penances asked him, saying, Tell me truly, what is the name of this thy sister, O snake? Vasuki replied, O Jaratkaru, this is my sister called Jaratkaru. Given away by me, accept this slender waisted damsel for thy spouse. O best of Brahmins, for thee I reserve her. Therefore, take her. Saying this, he offered his beautiful sister to Jaratkaru, who then espoused her with ordained rites. So ends the 13th section in the Astik Parv of the Adi Parv. Section 14. Astik Parv Continued. Sati said, O foremost of persons, acquainted with the Brahma, the mother of snakes, had cursed them of old, saying, He that hath the wind for his charioteer, that is Agni, shall burn you all in Janmejay's sacrifice. It was to neutralize that curse that the chief of snakes married his sister to that high souled rishi of excellent vows. The rishi wedded her according to the rites ordained in the scriptures, and from them was born a high souled son called Astika. An illustrious ascetic, versed in the Vedas and their branches, he regarded all with an even eye and removed the fears of both his parents. Then, after a long space of time, a king descending from the Pandava line celebrated a great sacrifice known as the snake sacrifice. After the sacrifice had commenced for the destruction of the snakes, Astika delivered the Nagas, that is, his brothers and maternal uncles and other snakes, from a fiery death. And he delivered his fathers also by begetting offsprings. And by his austerities, O Brahman, and O various vows and study of the Vedas, he freed himself from all his debts. By sacrifices at which various kinds of offerings were made, he propitiated the gods. By practicing the brahmacharya mode of life, he conciliated the rishis, and by begetting offsprings, he gratified his ancestors. Thus, Jaratguru of rigid vows discharged the heavy debt he owed to his sires, who, being thus relieved from bondage, ascended to heaven. Thus, having acquired great religious merit, Jaratguru, after a long course of years, went to heaven, leaving Astik behind. There is the story of Astika that I have related duly now. Tell me, O tiger of Brigu's race, what else shall I narrate? So ends the 15th section of the Astik Parv of the Adi Parv. Section 16. Astik Parv Continued. Sonak said, O Sati, relate once more in detail this history of the learned and virtuous Astika. Our curiosity for hearing it is great. O amiable one, thus speaketh sweetly, with proper accent and emphasis. And we are well pleased with thy speech. Thou speakest even as thy father. Thy sire was ever ready to please us. Tell us now the story of thy father has related it. Sati said, O thou that art blessed with longevity, I shall narrate the history of Astika as I heard it from my father. O Brahmana, in the golden age, Prajapati had two daughters. One, sinless one, the sisters were endowed with wonderful beauty, named Kadru and Vinata. They became the wives of Kashyap. Kashyap derived great pleasure from his two wedded wives and became gratified. Being gratified, he, resembling Prajapati himself, offered to give each of them a boon. Hearing that their Lord was willing to confer on them their choice blessings, those excellent ladies felt transports of joy. Kadru wished to have sons 1,000 snakes, all of equal splendor, and Vinata wished to bring forth two sons, surpassing the 1,000 offsprings of Kadru in strength, energy, size of body, and prowess. Unto Kadru, her lord gave that boon about a magnitude of offsprings. And unto Vinata also Kashyap said, Be it so. Then Vinata, having obtained her prayer, rejoiced greatly. Obtaining two sons of superior prowess, she regarded her boon fulfilled. Kadru also obtained her 1,000 sons of equal splendor. Bear the embryos carefully, said Kashyap, and then he went into the forest, leaving his two wives pleased with his blessings. Sati continued, O best of regenerate ones, after a long time, Kadru brought forth 1,000 eggs, and Vinata too. Their maidservants deposited the eggs separately in warm vessels. 500 years passed away, and the 1,000 eggs produced by Kadru burst, and out came the progeny. But the twins of Vinata did not appear. Vinata was jealous, and therefore she broke one of the eggs and found in it an embryo with the upper part developed, but the lower one undeveloped. At this, the child in the egg became angry and cursed his mother, saying, Since thou hast prematurely broken this egg, thou shalt serve as a slave. Shouldst thou wait 500 years and not destroy or render the other egg half developed by breaking it through impatience, then the illustrious child within it will deliver thee from slavery. And if thou wouldn't have the child strong, thou must take tender care of the egg for all this time. Thus cursing his mother, the child rose to the sky. O Brahmana, even he is the charioteer of Surya, always seen in the hour of morning. Then, at the expiration of the 500 years, bursting upon the other egg, out came Garuda, the serpent eater. O tiger of Bhrigu's race, immediately on seeing the light, that son of Vinata left his mother, and the lord of birds, feeling hungry, took wing in quest of the food assigned to him by the great ordainer of all. So ends the 16th section of the Astik Parv of the Adi Parv. Next section, 7, 17th. Astik Parv continued. Sati said, O ascetic, about this time the two sisters saw approaching near that steed of complacent appearance named Uchchashravas, who was worshipped by the gods, that gem of steeds who arose at the churning of the oceans of nectar. Divine, graceful, perpetually young, creation's masterpiece, and of irresistible vigor. It was blessed with very auspicious mark. Sonax asked, Why did the god churn the ocean for nectar, and under what circumstances, and when, as you say, did that best of steeds so powerful and resplendent arise? Sati said, "This is a mountain named Meru, of blazing appearance, and looking like a heap of effulgence. The rays of the sun falling on its peak of golden lustre are dispersed by them. Decked with gold and exceedingly beautiful, that mountain is the haunt of the gods and the Gandharvas. It is immeasurable and unapproachable by men of manifold sins. Deadful breasts Beasts of prey wander over its breasts, and it is illuminated by many divine life giving herbs. It stands kissing the heavens by its height and is the first of the mountains. Ordinary people cannot even think of as- ascending it. It is graced with trees and streams and resounds with the charming melody of the winged choirs. Once the celestials sat on its begemmed peak in conclave. They who had praised penances and practiced and observed excellent vows for Amrita now seem to be eager seekers, altar Amrita, celestial ambrosia. Seeing the celestial assembly in anxious mood, Narayana said to Brahman, "Do thou churn the ocean with the gods and the asuras. By doing so, Amrita will be obtained, as also all drugs and gems. O ye gods, churn the ocean. Ye will discover Amrita." So ends the 17th section in the Astik Parv of the Adi Parv. Section 18, Astik Parv Continued. Sati said, "There is a mountain called Mandara, adorned with cloud like peaks. It is the best of the mountains and is covered all over with intertwining herbs. These countless birds pour forth their melodies, and the beasts of prey roam about. The gods, the apsaras, the kinnars visit the place. Upwards it rises 11,000 yojans and descends downwards as much. The gods wanted to tear it up and use it as a churning rod, but failing to do so, same to Vishnu and Brahman, who were sitting together, and said unto them, "Devise some efficient scheme. Consider, ye gods, how Mandara may be dislodged for our good." Sati continued, "O son of Bhrigu, Vishnu with Brahman assented to it. And the lotus eyed one, Vishnu, laid the hard task in the mighty Ananta, the prince of snakes. The powerful Ananta, directed thereto both by Brahman and Narayan, O Brahmana, tore up the mountains with the woods thereon and with the denizens of those woods. And the gods came to the shore of the ocean with Ananta and addressed the ocean, saying, O ocean, we have come to churn thy waters for obtaining nectar. And the ocean replied, Be it so, as I shall not go without a share of it. I am able to bear the prodigious agitation of my waters set up by the mountain. The gods then went to the kings of Tortoise and said to him, O Tortoise King, thou wilt have to hold the mountain on thy back. The Tortoise King agreed, and Indra contrived to place the mountain on the former's back. And the gods and the asuras made of Mandiras a churning staff and Vasuki the cord, and set about churning the deep of Amrita. The asuras held Vasuki by the hood, and the gods held him by the tail. And Ananta, who was on the side of the gods, at intervals raised the snake's hood and suddenly lowered it. And in consequence of the stretch, Vasuki received at the hands of the gods and the asuras black vapors with flames issued from his mouth. These turned into clouds, charged with lightning, poured showers that refreshed the tired gods, and flowers that also fell on all sides of the celestials from the trees on the whirling Mandara refreshed them. Then, O Brahman, out of the deep came a tremendous roar, like into the roar of the clouds at the universal dissolution. Diverse aquatic animals, being crushed by the great mountain, gave up the ghost in the salt waters. And many denizens of the lower regions and the world of Varuna were killed. Large trees with birds on the whirling Mandara were tore up by the roots and fell into the water. The mutual friction of those trees also produced fires that blazed up frequently. The mountains thus looked like mass of dark clouds charged with lightning. O Brahman, the fire spread and consumed the lions, elephants, and other creatures that were on the mountain. Then Indra extinguished that fire by pouring down heavy showers. After the churning, O Brahman, had gone on for some time, gummy exudation of various trees and herbs vested with the properties of Amrita mingled with the waters of the ocean. And the celestials attained to immortality by drinking of the water mixed with those gums and with the liquid extract of the gold. By degrees, the milky water of the agitated deep turned into clarified butter by virtue of those gums and juices. But nectar did not appear even then. The gods came before the boon granting Brahman, seated on his seat, and said, Sire, we are spent up. We have no strength left to churn further. Nectar hath not yet risen so that now we have no recourse save Narayan. On hearing them, Brahma said to Narayan, O Lord, consented to grant the gods strength to churn the deep afresh. Then Narayan, agreeing to grant their various prayers, said, Ye wise ones, I grant you sufficient strength. Go, put the mountain in position again and churn the water. Re-established thus in strength, the gods recommenced churning. After a while, the mild moon of 1,000 rays emerged from the ocean. Thereafter sprung forth Lakshmi, dressed in white, then Soma, then the white steed, and then the celestial gem Kaustuba, which graces the breast of Narayan. Then Lakshmi, Soma, and the steed, fleet at the mind, all came before the gods on high. Those arose the divine Dhanvantri himself with the white vessel of nectar in his hand. And seeing him, the asuras set up a loud cry, saying, It be ours. And at length rose the great elephant, Airavat, of huge body and with two pairs of white tusks. And him took Indra, the wielder of the thunderbolt. But with the churning still going on, the poison Kalakuta appeared at last. Engulfing the earth, it suddenly blazed up like fire, attended with fumes, and by the scent of the fearful Kalakuta, the three worlds were stupefied. And then Shiva, being solicited by Brahma, swallowed that poison for the safety of the creation. The divine Maheshwar held it in his throat, and it is said that from that time he is called Neelkantha, or the blue throated one. Seeing all these wondrous things, the Asuras were filled with despair and got themselves prepared for entering into hostilities with the gods for the possession of Lakshmi and Amrita. Thereupon, Narayan called his bewitching Maya, the elusive power, to his aid, and assuming the form of an enticing female, coquetted with the Danavas. The Danavas and the Daityas, charmed with her exquisite beauty and grace, lost their reason and unanimously placed the Amrita in the hands of that fair damsel. So ends the 18th section in the Astika Parv of the Adi Parv. With this, we come to an end to this episode of Mahabharat and its heroes. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, this is your host, Madhulika Rajahan signing off. Stay healthy always. Narayan Narayan.